We don't need another study. We know the facts are in. Nobody. We don't need a more. This is a way to just kick something down the road at this point. We really don't need another study about the effects of slavery on the last 150 years of our society. It's time to actually begin to do something about it. And of course, they say, "Oh, Congress should handle it. Of course, there should be another study." This is classic deflection of a presidential administration which doesn't want to have to deal with it at all.
In your 2020 presidential campaign, a core part of your campaign was the issue of reparations. Obviously, a topic that is incredibly important to African Americans and the descendants of the enslaved in the U.S. As it relates to reparations, today, the issue of reparations in Washington, the Biden administration, even as recently as this week, has said that the president supports H.R. 40, which would create a commission to study the issue of reparations, but believes that should be done, that should come from Congress. What is your commitment in terms of the issue of reparations, and do you believe that this administration is handling the issue effectively?
Well, first of all, H.R. 40 came from an old friend of mine, the now deceased John Conyers, Representative John Conyers from Detroit. John Conyers would be the first one to raise his eyes. That was then, and this is now. To be honest, we don't need another study. We know the facts are in. Nobody. We don't need a more. This is a way to just kick something down the road at this point. We really don't need another study about the effects of slavery on the last 150 years of our society. It's time to actually begin to do something about it. And of course, they say, "Oh, Congress should handle it. Of course, there should be another study." This is classic deflection of a presidential administration which doesn't want to have to deal with it at all. It's not only that, but there has been no serious police reform. There has been no serious police reform under this administration. And there has been, even though when you look at how Black people voting for this president and also voting for Democrats in 2022 have been so responsible for the Democratic wins and the Democratic power that exists now in this Congress. The fact that there has been no serious police reform, the fact that there has been no serious codification of voting rights, I'm sorry. I think that what I'm offering is a far more authentic and serious conversation. When it comes to reparations, it's simply time to get down, put some money on the table, start talking and start negotiating. There is a debt that needs to be paid. And I believe the question now is not evidence about the problem, but a serious conversation about the solution.
And in terms of the types of reparations, I know in California and San Francisco in particular, there are a plethora of ideas of what reparations should look like, such as not having taxes for Black business owners or purchasing homes for $1. Do you have a specific plan in terms of reparations?
Yes, I do. First of all, I think if I owe you money, it's not my business how you spend it. So my plan involves what I think of as a council of Black elders that would be people and intergenerational also, because I think the money should be dispersed over 20 years. I think we should be talking at least in the realm of $1 trillion as our starting bid, as it were. If you have people, Black leaders from business, Black leaders from culture, Black leaders from politics, Black leaders from religion, and like I said, various ages. The money is to be for education and economic renewal. Within that, how the money is dispersed, whether it's to historic Black colleges, whether it's to economic renewal, degentrification, whatever it is, to be honest, I believe that those decisions should be made by Black people and not white people.